Oh yeah, this is the special one I promised you. LEGO Star Wars May the 4th Trade Federation Troop Carrier. Now for those of you that don't know, every May the 4th, LEGO does something special. They make these May the 4th exclusive sets that you can only get if you spend over $100 on LEGO. And this year, I managed to spend over $100 on LEGO, which probably wasn't the smartest idea, and they mailed me this. So we're gonna go ahead and put this together. Let's see, I need something to cut it with. That's the wrong blade. All right, I'm just gonna, oh, this isn't a big set. I'll be done within a couple of minutes. It won't be too long. Some of my other videos. Piece. Instructions. And that should be everything. There. And you already know how it is. We're just gonna go ahead and get started with bag number 1. Throw that out here. Yeah, normally, back in the old days, the May the 4th exclusive would be some kind of special minifigure. Like I think there was a Hoth Han Solo, I think a Chrome Stormtrooper was one, and then another one was, I want to say Chrome Darth Vader or Shadow ARF Trooper. So they were pretty cool, but then, you know, LEGO decided, nah, that's too cool. And they started going with exclusive builds, which people didn't really react kindly to, because normally the thing about the May the 4th exclusives was that they would be something that, you know, you'd want to spend money in order to get. But not many people really felt that way about these builds that were a couple of pieces that you could probably put together in your bedroom. And so then this year, LEGO decided to go with a set and do this troop carrier, which LEGO had made troop carrier sets in the past before, but they hadn't in a while, and they were a great way to like build up your droid armies if you were trying to build one. And, you know, even if you weren't trying to build up a droid army, you know, oh, it'd look good for like a big battle between them and the clones. But what are you gonna do about it? At least we still have that battle pack now with the clone troopers and droids in it, which is more than we used to get. So I know I'm appreciative of it, at the very least. I'll take something over nothing. Alright. Yeah, this one, I believe they made this due to the 25-year anniversary of the Phantom Menace being released, which the Phantom Menace, I'd say, is probably my least favorite out of the prequel trilogy, but I don't hate it like some people do. Now, I know some people hate it with a burning passion, like they absolutely despise it, say it's the worst Star Wars movie ever made. But me, I'm just like, it's not that bad. Though, you know, granted, there are people who religiously hate on Jar Jar Binks and call him the worst Star Wars character, and I'm just like, he's just there, you know? Like, some people just hate on it so much, and I'm like, dude, he's just a character in a movie about space wizards and laser guns and swords. So, I mean, no, you know, and then Attack of the Clones came out, and I actually kind of liked that one. I know when it first came out, it got hated on, then everyone started, you know, memeing it, because, I mean, the prequel trilogy had some pretty good memes in it. I mean, it's just a gold mine of memes, now that I think about it. Just any line can be used for it. But then, you know, when you really take a look at the, I like the whole love story behind it between Padme and Anakin, and, you know, it's pretty solid. I mean, granted, I think it could use a little bit of work on my end, because, you know, it didn't really age that well, but I think the Clone Wars series did the whole relationship a lot of justice. Though, of course, you know, the Clone Wars was just one of the greatest shows ever created, and maybe that's why I defend the prequel trilogy so much, because had it not been for the prequel trilogy, we would have never gotten the Clone Wars. And I never would have gotten my personality through middle school. Yeah. But yeah, and then, you know, Revenge of the Sith came out, and that, I'd say, was probably my favorite out of the entire prequel trilogy. I don't know why it is. I mean, it has some of the best memes in it, like, this is where the fun begins, or the whole youngling scene. But taking out the whole aspect of the younglings things, like taking the meme parts out of it, it's actually, you know, kind of sad because when you watch the Clone Wars, you know, Anakin is well respected and looked up to as like this war hero, as like this great Jedi. He's supposedly the chosen one, and like everyone like always looks up to him because like, you know, he's always gonna save the day. Him and Rex and Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, you know, they're gonna find a way to beat the Clankas. But they're just, no. He just killed them. And honestly, it's just kind of heartbreaking. Though, you know, watching the, what's it called? Oh, the fight between him and Obi-Wan on that planet, you know, that lava planet, what's it called? Mustafar, I want to say? Yeah, Mustafar. That was one of the greatest lightsaber duels I had ever seen. Like, I remember as a kid, I used to rewatch that scene over and over again because just watching them flip around and duck under lightsabers and jump while all that lava was rising around them, it just, I don't know, man, it was just so cool. And then, you know, Anakin got all his limbs chopped off and became Vader. Now, I think the whole Vader transformation scene could have been done maybe just a little better. But, I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, everything you can think of, like, every great thing from your childhood you can think of, like, looking back on it, you know, sometimes it doesn't age that well. Now, sometimes it ages greatly, but I mean, no movie's gonna be perfect. And now there will be people who will say, oh, but actually this movie is perfect because all of this was thought out in advance. It's like, no, no. Well, no movie is perfect. Not the Godfather trilogy, not The Empire Strikes Back, and not The Dark Knight. Though I already went into a rant about that in a separate video. So I have to get these out. Here. Yeah. Okay. You know, so far my droid army collection is not looking too bad. You know, now that I've got this in, I've got a pretty sizable amount, which, granted, you know, for me that's not much because I could have about maybe 10 battle droids, and I consider that like, you know, oh, that's a pretty good amount of battle droids. But you know, there are some YouTubers who build armies of about 100 or no, like close to nearly 1,000 of them, and that's crazy to me. I mean, I always thought about doing it, but I'm already running out of space for Lego as it is, so I'm gonna have to get creative in these upcoming videos. I don't know, but I'll figure something out though. Though I may take a break from Lego for a while because I don't want to wear you guys out on just me sitting here building Lego sets and ranting about stupid stuff. Nah, maybe in the future I'll make me do like a cooking video, or I'll do a gaming video because I just figured out how to get how to record my games on the Xbox and send them to my phone. So, you know, if you guys want to see like any specific playthroughs, just drop a comment and let me know. Man, everything's just falling on me tonight. Like a minute ago, I had to put this entire background back together because it got moved to the floor and I had to pick it up. And when I picked it up, the background fell and it fell apart. And I had to spend like a solid 20 minutes, or well, not 20 minutes, more like 10 or so, trying to put it back together. So yeah, that was real fun. Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't want to be like one of those Lego Star Wars fans that complain about everything. Like, I'm gonna keep it a band, and I'm not saying all Lego Star Wars fans are like this, but I know a majority of them just kind of like to, you know, they don't realize how good they've got it. Like, now we've got that one set out there, the Boarding the Tantive 4 or something, I think it is, that's got a freaking Fives minifigure in it. A freaking Fives minifigure. I remember I used to think we would never get that guy as a Lego minifigure, but alas, here he is. And then, you know, freaking next year we've got well, not next year, but sometime this summer we've got the Captain Rex Starfighter Microfighter thing or something. That's going to give you a Phase 2 Captain Rex for $10. I remember back when I was collecting clone minifigures, the idea of that would make me soil my pants. Because I remember everyone was talking about it, like me and my buddy, we were talking about like how great it would be to get a Phase 2 Captain Rex because of how expensive he would be. He was at the time, so, you know, getting one like that now would be pretty cool. And, you know, heck, I even heard we're getting a Jedi Bob Starfighter set. And to those of you who don't know, Jedi Bob is kind of like this joke figure. Like, back in the early days of the 2000s, there was this Republic gunship set, and Lego had to put just a random Jedi minifigure in there for, like, the Battle of Geonosis. And so they just made this random Jedi figure. They didn't make him anyone specific. It was just a random Jedi. And he went unnamed for a while until some kind of encyclopedia book came out back in shortly after the set release, and they called him Jedi Bob, and it just kind of stuck for a while. Just, you know, Jedi Bob. And you know, for a while, you know, they were talking about, I remember back when the UCS gunship was releasing, they were talking about putting an updated Jedi Bob figure in there, but, you know, that never happened. But I think a trailer is dropped for some kind of Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy thing or something. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a what-if version of Star Wars, which will be pretty interesting to see. Because, I mean, you know, What If for Marvel has been pretty interesting so far, though I've fallen behind on that. I'll need to catch up on it again. But yeah, now in this whole Rebuild the Galaxy thing, Jedi Bob is in it, and apparently there's some kind of rumor that this summer they're gonna make a Jedi Bob Starfighter set, which I think is kind of funny, but I really hope it's true, because I'd get it, because the memes. And speaking of memes, apparently in this whole Rebuild the Galaxy thing, they're supposed to be including Darth Jar Jar and like an evil Millennium Falcon, which the idea of Darth Jar Jar is pretty ridiculous. But I mean, I remember I used to watch all these videos that would kind of point out small things about Jar Jar and the Phantom Menace, that, you know, he was supposed to be like this beloved character, and then they were going to turn around and reveal that he was a Sith Lord the entire time. And I don't know why, but I just thought the idea of that was really funny. Just this goofy alien guy who's always getting into trouble is actually this mastermind Sith Lord. But yeah, no, apparently Lego's making it into a thing, and apparently it's gonna have like a good version of Darth Vader in it, like to where he turned the light side or something, and he's got like a whole white suit going on, which is very interesting. Like, I will be honest, I did not expect that. I mean, with Lego, you know, they do a lot of things you don't expect, like with the space theme this year going crazy. Like, they put aliens in a Lego City set. I never thought I'd live to see that day. I remember the closest thing I ever got to seeing an alien in a Lego City set was this old book I got back in, I want to say 2009 or 2010. That was about like the spaceship launching up to like the Lego version of the ISS, which I don't know what that'd be called, but you know. But yeah, they launched the rocket into space, and I remember I'd comb through the book for details because I thought there would be something hidden, and I would just read through it, and I would try and find any hidden secrets or Easter eggs in it. And I remember on one panel, You know, I remember there was this astronaut, he was sleeping or something, and then they did kind of like a cutaway or something of where like you could see out his window into space, and I remember I looked real closely and there was an orange alien in the background. I'm not sure I still have that book, but I swear that it was there. Okay, and I remember I was seeing that and I'd freaked out. I was like, oh, there's an alien back there. I kind of wondered where they were going to go with it, but I'm not sure if they did. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I have an alien minifigure that kind of looks like it. I move it correctly. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go grab that real quick. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was this guy. I think his name is Cranks. He was in the Space Police theme, the third one that came out back in 2009, which is, I'd say, probably one of my favorite Lego themes, because I remember, like, growing up, I didn't really care for it, but then I kind of looked back on it a couple years later, and I thought, that was a really cool theme. I don't know, just the idea of outlaws in space, just, I don't know, I really liked it. You know, it also didn't help that, you know, the leader of the bad guy alien gang was dressed like a pimp, and his name was Brick Daddy. I'm not even making this up, I tell you. I already talked about this in another video, but 2009 was just a crazy era for Lego themes. Like, you had Agents, Atlantis, Power Miners, Space Police, Castle. Like, it was just a grand old time. And then I remember back in and then like after that they kind of started diving more into licensing. But I remember another good year for Lego was 2012. Now, 2012 was kind of a weird year for me, but I went with it. Like, I remember back in 2012 there was that when Ultra Agents? No, I'm wrong. Ultra Agents didn't show up until 2017, I want to say, which is making me feel old, because I remember, like, when that was the, you know, new stuff. Like, that's when the new Ultra Agents were out, the new themes. That was when The Force Awakens came out, and I remember everyone was so hyped for that, and reasonably so, I'd say. Out of all the sequel trilogy movies, I'd say it was probably the best so far. I mean, I think it could have used a little bit more improvements. Like, it was basically kind of like a carbon copy of, you know, A New Hope, which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with going by the classics, but it's just, I don't know, I felt like it was missing something. I mean, overall, it wasn't that bad. I remember at one point, though, me and my middle school buddy, we obsessed over this one, that one stormtrooper that fought Finn. Valley said something like, "Traitor!" and he brought out, like, this cool electric staff thing, and he just started swinging it around, and he had this whole big fight with Finn, and we thought that was the coolest thing possible. And I'm pretty sure, like, he became a meme or something, and they called him, like, TR8R because, you know, traitor. I remember seeing that, and I was like, that is so cool. Though I'm gonna be honest, I really like the First Order Stormtrooper designs. Like, I don't know what it was, they were just so sleek, you know, and I really appreciated that sleekness they put in. And I remember Captain Phasma, I was so hyped because her armor was just pure drip. I mean, the bling on that, just the silver, it was just pure drip. And, you know, she barely said anything, and so, you know, I thought she was gonna be like Boba Fett, you know, to where, like, you know, she's silent and, like, she doesn't really do much, but when it comes time to throw hands, like, she's gonna have hands for days. And I was wrong. I was so wrong. I mean, we were all wrong. I remember a lot of people were thinking the same thing, but nah, she was lame. I was expecting her to be this absolute beast, but nah, she got kidnapped by freaking Han and Finn on Starkiller Base, and then just absolutely just tossed into the trash compactor, And then when they blow up Starkiller Base, somehow she just gets out, you know, doesn't say how. She just, I mean, it may say it in a novel or something, but, you know, I'm too lazy to go look at that. But yeah, she just gets out somehow. And then not only does she get out, but then, and she gets off Starkiller Base before it blows up. And then in the next movie, she kind of just has this big fight with Finn. And then I think BB-8, that's his name, the little droid guy. He hijacked some kind of walker thing, and they were fighting on a Star Destroyer, I want to say. And then that light speed scene happened, which I won't lie, that was pretty cool. Like, I'd say that's probably the best scene in all of The Last Jedi, which, I mean, isn't really saying much, because I do not care for it. I remember when it first came out, I was so excited for it. Like, I thought this is going to be one of the greatest Star Wars movies of all time. But no! Oh, man. But yeah, old Captain Phasma, you know, I thought she was going to be this absolute boss. But no, she just had that little fight with Finn. You saw her eye. And then, yeah, she died. Again. And nope, didn't get off the Star Destroyer this time. No, she confidently died without accomplishing anything other than looking cool. And it wasn't like Boba Fett stuff, because I mean, at least Boba Fett got to come back in Mandalorian. He was kicking butt for a while until, you know, they made the Book of Boba Fett, which, I mean, I was excited for, but like, the concept of it was cool, but it's just the execution, like, it just wasn't right, you know? Like, I thought they were going to be focusing more on Boba, like, you know, reestablishing himself in the criminal world. Like, I thought he was going to be all ruthless and stuff like that. Another thing but they were focusing on, like, the Power Ranger-looking guys with the speeder bikes and the cyborg equipment, where it's like, that's cool and all, but it's like, I don't care about these guys. I want to see Boba Fett doing something, you know? And then I know a lot of people want to say stuff like, oh, you know, he was still healing from his burns and stuff that he got from, you know, leaving the Sarlacc. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But how is he kicking butt in The Mandalorian? Okay, because think about it. He didn't heal from his injuries until episode, I want to say, 4 of the Boba Fett show. Oh, and then he's like, oh, now I'm all healed, and I'm going to go back to kicking butt. And then, you know, in the next couple of episodes, you know, well, you already know. But I will admit, him riding that Rancor in the finale was pretty cool. Boba Fett riding a Rancor. That's another thing I never thought I'd see in Star Wars, but there it is. So now we'll just pop these on here. Like that. That. Okay, now we just gotta... Alright, now it's time for some Clanka army building. So I'm just gonna... I'm just gonna set them up like this because I feel like it. Now we just pop these on. Like so. Another thing I will admit was that the Clone Wars, they made the battle droids just really funny. Like, I know sometimes, like, Star Wars can overdo it with the goofiness, but these battle droids, let me tell you something, these guys were just funny. Like, it was hard to take them serious because they were always doing dumb stuff. I remember one episode, I think Anakin and a couple other guys, like, they were boarding, like, one of their command ships or something, and the commander guy, there's this, like, commander droid, and, you know, he sees these guys, like, blasting away at everyone, and he goes, I'm not the commander, he's the commander. And he points at this other random battle droid, and he just gets shot. And then, like, he stands there for a second thinking, and he's like, I guess I'm the commander now. And then they just shoot him. And then, oh, I don't have I don't have a General Grievous figure, but I would love to get one. I mean, I always thought he was really cool looking because, you know, cyborg, carries 4 lightsabers. Like, you'd think he'd be a menace, but I mean, in the prequel series, he's lame. I mean, yeah, he's cool and all, but then, you know, when push comes to shove, he just runs away. Like, think about it. We first see him in episode 3, and he's like, "Ah, yes, a fine addition to my collection." And then, you know, ship starts blowing up. He's like, "Oh, time to get out of here." And he gets away on an escape pod. I'm like, okay, I get that. You know, like, I'll give him credit for that one, because there wasn't really a fight going on. It was just ship crashing. Though apparently, according to George Lucas, that first part of them rescuing Palpatine from the droids is like, in the extended cuts, like an hour long, I want to say. Hey, but I don't know too for sure about that. But yeah, General Grievous, just the whole idea of him was cool, but like in the prequel series, he just freaking runs away. And then when Obi-Wan showed up on that one planet and challenged him in front of everyone, at first it was really cool because it was like, oh, look at them, this is gonna be an epic showdown. Then Obi-Wan just 1, 2, 3 cuts off like 3 of his arms with no ease, and then, you know, General Grievous starts running, and then he keeps running, and then, you know, he like gets to a ship or something, and then I can't remember all what happens, but I remember like Obi-Wan just like shot him in the chest twice, and he just died like that. And then Obi-Wan's just like, well, that was easy. And it's kind of weird to see that, because like in the Clone Wars series, like Grievous was a real threat there. Like whenever he showed up, like you knew he was about to stand on business. Like if I remember correctly, it was like in one show, like he cornered Ahsoka or something, and like she was like having to hide from him and stuff. Like she couldn't even fight him one-on-one. And all the clones, like they were scared of him too, because I was like, you knew whenever he showed up, like someone was gonna die. And I mean, Dooku was kind of the same, but I mean, like he didn't have the same effect as Grievous. Like Grievous showed up, and people started running, as opposed to the prequel trilogy, to where, you know, Grievous shows up, Obi-Wan just basically 3 shots him, just cuts off his arms, and then shoots him, and he's just down like that. I mean, to be fair, that is Obi-Wan, you know, and Obi-Wan's not no ordinary Jedi. I mean, I would say he's probably the GOAT of the entire Jedi Order. I'd say he's even better than Yoda. I know a lot of people want to say stuff about Yoda, but I mean, think about the prequel trilogy. Name one fight he won in the prequel trilogy. Dooku? No. He didn't win against Dooku. He had to stop, and he was too busy, you know, flipping around instead of standing on business and taking care of him, to where Dooku just got away, and then Yoda had to save Anakin and Obi-Wan. And then, oh yeah, afterwards, he goes to fight Darth Sidious or whatever. And, you know, they're doing their whole fight in the Senate room, which I'll admit, that was another one of my favorite fights, just watching them, like, throw those stuff around, those chairs in the Galactic Senate meeting room. Like, I thought that was really cool. But then, yeah, Yoda just kind of gets smacked a little bit, and then, like, he just kind of starts crawling through the vents. He's like, well, I gotta go into exile now. And he just hangs out on Dagobah, I want to say. Just eats, you know, mushroom stew for, like, the next couple of years. And then, you know, Obi-Wan's like, not only did he fight Anakin, but he pretty much chopped off his limbs, had to look his own student, his own brother, in his eyes, and just had to leave him there to die, because he didn't really have the heart to kill him. And, you know, he had to watch over Luke during Kenobi, and had to rescue Princess Leia's trouble-causing self. While Yoda just chilled, and was like, you know, not only could he have gone back up there and continued the fight with Darth Sidious, but he's just like, nah, I'm gonna go into exile, bro. Whereas, you know, Obi-Wan just had to watch over Luke, but, you know, what do I know? Anyway, so if we put that guy here, I don't know why it gave me an extra pilot battle droid. I mean, you get 2 in the set, but I mean, it shows 1 like operating. Maybe he's supposed to go there. Maybe, I don't know, bro. But yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting because as far as I know, this is the only exclusive part to this set. And, it's a May the 4th special. So, maybe if I lock this away somewhere and give it about maybe 10 years, give or take, maybe it'll be worth something. Or maybe I'm just wasting my time and bought over $100 worth of Lego Star Wars sets, just to unbox it on camera and rant about it. But, it doesn't matter. So, that was my Trade Federation Troop Carrier review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a comment, subscribe, leave a like, let me know, and peace.